My dear brothers and sisters, today I want to share with you a story that is not just about one young man, but about all of our hearts. This is the story of that search which lives inside every human being. The search for peace, the search for contentment, the search for truth. No matter how wealthy a person may be, no matter how famous he may become, no matter how powerful he may be, there is always an emptiness in his heart, and that emptiness cannot be filled by wealth, nor by fame, nor by people. That emptiness can only be filled by the remembrance of Allah. The Qur'an reminds us, "Verily in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." This is the story of a young man who was lost in the colors of the world. He had the company of friends, the glitter of gatherings, the laughter and amusement of this world. Yet when night came and he laid his head on the pillow, his heart whispered, "Something is missing. Something is broken." One night, when everything was silent, the call to Fajr echoed from the mosque. His heart trembled. Tears began to flow from his eyes. For the first time he thought, is true peace only in this? In bowing down before Allah? That very night, he performed ablution, went to the mosque, and for the first time, prayed with his heart. And in that prostration, his soul whispered, "This is the peace I was searching for." The young man returned from the mosque with a strange peace in his heart. It felt as if the exhaustion of years had been lifted, as if the heavy burden on his soul had suddenly become light. He realized that the sweetness of bowing before Allah could never be found in worldly games or in the company of friends. From that day, his life began to change. Slowly, he became accustomed to the Fajr prayer. At first, it was difficult, but then his heart itself would wake him up. Every call to prayer felt like a knock at the door of his heart. One day, he opened the Qur'an. The very first verse touched his heart. This is the book about which there is no doubt, a guidance for those mindful of Allah. He was astonished. It felt as though these words were speaking directly to him. Every verse of the Qur'an knocked on the door of his heart, as if his Lord himself was answering his questions. He began waking up at night for recitation. Whenever he read the Qur'an, his heart would say, "This is the voice that brings me peace. This is the light that ends my darkness." One day he was reflecting, wondering, where exactly is true peace? And suddenly a hadith came to his mind. The peace of the heart is in the remembrance of Allah. At that moment, he understood that the peace he was searching for in the world had always been waiting for him at the door of his Lord. People of the world would say, "Come, let's enjoy ourselves, let's have fun." But now he knew that the real joy was in the prostrations of the night. The real joy was in reciting the Qur'an. The real joy was in whispering his heart's secrets to his Lord. Then his heart said, "Wealth will vanish, fame will vanish, but the remembrance of Allah will remain. Prayer will remain. The Qur'an will remain." And this realization became the turning point of his life. The young man's life had completely changed. Now, peace could be seen on his face. The same eyes that once wandered in the glitter of the world were now shining with the light of the Qur'an. The nights that were once wasted on mobile phones and useless gatherings were now spent in Tahajjud and heartfelt prayers. One day, his friends came to him and said, "Bro, you've changed. Before, your gatherings were full of jokes and laughter. Now, you just sit in the mosque. Why all this?" He smiled and replied, "You search for peace and laughter, I find peace and prostration. You search for joy in games, I find joy in the verses of the Qur'an. You get lost in the colors of the world, I live in the remembrance of my Lord." He then recited a verse of the Qur'an to them. "And whoever turns away from my remembrance, indeed, he will have a life of hardship." Surah Taha. He said, "My friends, peace is not in wealth or laughter. Peace is only in the remembrance of Allah. I have experienced it myself." His friends fell silent after hearing this. Some of them thought in their hearts that indeed there was a different kind of light in his eyes. The young man now became an example for others. People would ask him, "Brother, how did you find this peace?" He would reply, "By crying in prostrations, by reciting the Qur'an, and by remembering Allah." One night he was praying with tears flowing down his cheeks. He said, "O Allah, I used to live a life of sins. I was lost, but you, with your mercy, showed me the path. O Allah, never let me be heedless of your remembrance." At that very moment, he felt a strange strength in his heart, as if the love of Allah was surrounding him. He now knew that true strength, true peace and true success lie only in the worship of Allah. He said, O people of the world, listen. Your gatherings will end, your games will end, your wealth will end, but the prostration made for Allah will never end. The verse of the Qur'an, recited with sincerity, will be with you on the day of judgment. And the dua, made with tears in your eyes, can change your destiny. In the end, the young man summarized his life like this: I searched for peace in the world, but I did not find it. I searched for peace in people, but I did not find it. I searched for peace in sins, but I did not find it. But when I recognized my Lord, when I immersed myself in His remembrance, when I learned to weep in prostration before Him, I found peace. Now I say, peace is only in the remembrance of Allah. Final prayer. O Allah, keep us alive in your remembrance. Keep us busy in your worship, and on the day of judgment, raise us among those who are close to you. Ameen.